Okay, are you going to start or?
I'll start. Welcome all to the training on Microsoft Excel 101. Today we have Kelvin with us. He's a Microsoft certified trainer and he's been doing training for years. And he'll be walking us through the basic of Excel and how you can get started, how you can have the basics, and how you can build to an advanced level of training or advanced level of Excel understanding. So yeah, let's without any more delay, let's get into the session and over to you, Kelvin.
Thank you, Suraj. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. Okay. Now my name is Kelvin, as Suraj mentioned, and I have been doing training, all sorts of training for the last 25 years. My passion is still in Microsoft Office. Right. After so many different type of training that I've done, I realized that Microsoft Office is the one that gives me a lot of what you call this satisfaction because I can help a lot of people in their everyday work. So I'm out to a mission now. I want to simplify your daily workflow when you're using Excel. There are many people out there using Microsoft Excel for hours just to do something simple, which you can do in just a few seconds or minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start small. We're going to start a baby step. We're going to do with Microsoft Excel 101, some of the basics. Now, this is the only slides I have, and this is the only one theory, the discussion that we're going to have. We're going to go into the Excel straight away, right? Now, as I mentioned just now, I will be sharing these files with you. So let me just put up the link. So I'll put it into the chat. So take a look in the chat. Okay, this is the link where you can go to my OneDrive and you should be able to see the files from my OneDrive. So just download it into your desktop and you can follow along if you want, right? So if you don't want, you just want to listen, that's fine. That's fine. You can do it after because the recording will be shared to you as well. Okay, now I'm just going to go through some very simple understanding of Microsoft Excel first. So what do we call all these things that you see at the top here? We have like file, home, insert, page layout, formulas, and so on. All these are called ribbons. Microsoft named them as ribbon. And in every ribbon, it comes with grouping. You see like this in Office 365, they have some new group called undo, clipboard, we have the font. So in my session later, as I move on, I will be telling you, let's look at the home ribbon and then we go to this and that. So for those of you who are following me through during the session, I will be doing that. So for example, if I say, let's look at the uh, number group. So I will say, let's go to the home ribbon. I was saying home ribbon. Then I'll tell you, let's look at the number group. So I will mention the group followed by whichever button that I want to work on. All right. So this is how we're going to understand those terminology that are going to be used by me, right? So of course, if as a human layman we talk to each other, we'll say, let's go to the top. Can you see the menu called home? That's the normal conversation that a lot of people have. Or some of them will just say, let's look up there. Can you see up there? Those kind of things. Those are human language, natural language. So I try to stay away from the natural language. I use the Excel language because we're doing Microsoft preview. Now let's do that. If I go to the view ribbon, if I go to view ribbon, inside the show group, there are three active items here, which I want to talk about. Okay, so let's see how many of you here will be guilty as charged in a while. Now, what do you call all this A, B, C, and the 1, 2, 3 on the left? They are called the column and row. Now, you can turn off the column and row from here. If you ever receive any file which does not have the ABC and 1, 2, 3, don't call your IT department, right? You can DIY this, do it yourself, just come back and turn this on in case they are not on your screen. Now, having said that, once it's on, right, you can see A, B, C, D, E, F until J. Now, does anybody here type in the chat if you know how many columns are there in the total? If you do not know, just type something. Can I see in the chat? How many columns are there in one worksheet? Do I see any answers? 27. 1,000. Oh, Romeo says unlimited. 1,000. Right. Now let me surprise you. If I hold down the control, and I press the right arrow key, it goes all the way to the last column, which is XFD. Now XFD is 16,384. 16,384. Now let me prove it to you. I will go to this file. I go to the option. Under this formula, I will turn on something called row one, column one reference style, which is the old way of styles that people read the reference. Row one, column one, R1, C1. When I turn this on and I hit OK, you'll notice that my XFD now is 16,384. I have just turned my alphabet column into a number column. So there are 16,384. Okay, now we don't use this on our everyday work, but I'm just trying to tell you that there's a total of 16,024. So I'm going to turn it back. I want to turn it back to the normal reference where we go to formula, we turn off the R1C1. There you go. So now it's XFD. Now the actual reason why I'm showing you this is, now let me tell you a good news. Most of you here says 60,000, 16,000, 10,000, 20. Some of you say hundreds and so on. Good news for you. You have not reached the end yet. You are only 1,000 column user, 100,000 user, those kind of things. But 100 or 1,000 user. But now that you know there's 16,000 column, good news for you. There's more for you to work with. Now, the actual reason why I asked you to look into this is I want you to know how many rows we can fit in one worksheet. So if you look down here, the last row is 1,048,576. So if you happen to work on big data with other systems like Oracle, SAP, or whatever, you download the data into your Microsoft Excel. Be mindful. One worksheet can only hold up to 1 million row. If the data you're trying to download, it's more than 1 million row, Microsoft Excel will not be able to fit that more than 1 million. Maximum is only 1 million row. Okay, now let's just do some simple calculation. If I do this, 1,048,576, then I have 16,384. So let me just format them nicely. I just click the comma style. Okay, so if I multiply them, equal to this, and I multiply with the 16,000. So this is my row, this is my columns, and then this is my cells. So in one worksheet, we can hold up to 17 billion cells. That's a lot. So if each and every one of us can translate one cell to $1, we are all billionaire now. Don't you agree that? If only we can, if we can, but now we cannot. So what I'm trying to tell you is this: 17 billion cell, 17 billion cell, and there are many people who actually do this. They go to this corner, they click at this corner will select everything that is in one worksheet. So when they click this and they go into the color, they say, okay, let's make this one blue. Ta-da, blue. So now you have 17 billion cell blue. Isn't it convenient? Just one click, you get all this. Now be mindful, if you do this, the next few minutes when you finish your work and you save your file, you will be complaining. Simply because your Excel file size, when you save, it's going to be quite big because you have formatted 17 billion cell blue color when you don't even need to use them. So don't complain if your file size grow too big. Formatting does contribute to the file size. By making it blue color, it may seem like very little, but it does increase the file size. So if you plan to color this, then good luck to you. Your file size will be huge, right? Please do not do that. Always maintain the no fill. But always maintain no fill unless you want to color them. Now, if you try to get rid of this lines that makes the boxes here by changing this and then say, oh, let's make it white. Oh, yay. My worksheet now doesn't come with a line. Now, please do not do that. If you plan to just get rid of this line, you should just go to the view and turn off the grid line. That will do the trick, and you does not increase any file size. Okay, take note. Why I'm doing this is I want to give you the awareness. How huge, I'll say, how big is one worksheet? How big is one worksheet? So you have 17 billion cells. And there are many of you here, I believe, including myself, I do this as well. I will click one of the column here, click, and I actually selected the entire column, and I make it percentage style, make it comma style. I insert a conditional formatting in there. Now, if I do all this, then I actually apply 1 million row or 1 million cell into this kind of formatting. I apply the formatting into this 1 million cell. That will also contribute file size. Even though it's 1 million, yet it will. If you only work with one column, then fine. But you work with so many other columns and you do the same for every column, that is going to contribute to file size. So please be aware and please don't do all that. Now, there's 1 million, 17 billion row cells in one worksheet. You can have up to, right here, according to this setting, here, see, include this number of worksheets. When I put my mouse over it, it says you can do up to 255. Now, wait, let me just see if I can get rid of this first. There will be a tooltip that says 1 to 255. Now it's not showing anymore. 55. Okay, so it's up to 25. Recommended up to 255, but I personally try up to 255. And what happened is I add 256, 257, and it still continue to add. So I guess the limit is whether our computer can take it or not. So if you are trying to put in like one worksheet per day, which means in one workbook, you want to have 365, you can go ahead and do that. But good luck to you when you save the file. It may not be very smooth. It will be lagging. It will be like not responding. It will take too much time to save. So the advice is do not try to use too many worksheets in one workbook. Break it down into multiple workbooks. That will work on the file a little bit more what you call that, easier. You let the file work easier and it will be faster. Try not to use too many worksheets. All right, so I'm going to cancel this. It says up to 255. However, that tooltip doesn't appear anymore. Right, so now I'm doing this because I want you to know that's the limit that all of us have. 1 million row, 16,000 column. Right. Now, in this view, we also have something. Now, I'm to turn on my ribbon here. We also have something here called formula bar. So formula bar is basically this area. So if I turn it off, you see what's missing. Okay, the formula bar. So this formula bar, right, this is called the formula bar. This is called the formula bar. Right. So whenever I mention, let's look at the formula bar, I'm referring to this. Unless if I say, let's look at the formula ribbon. So I actually refer to the ribbon. That's why I say I differentiate it. Ribbon, and this is formula bar. And right in front here, we have something called name box. This area is called name box. The name box will actually tell you where is your active cell at the moment. So my active cell is XEW 148567. So this is exactly where I am now, this cell. Okay, so they will immediately tell you where is the active cell over here. If I click here, you see XES 104857568. Now, if I click inside this name box and I tap A1, it will bring me back to the top. So I don't have to scroll all the way up, scroll all the way to the left. I don't have to do that. I can just click inside this name box and it's like a teleporter. You know, just press that and type, boop, you're there. So if I go to AZ 40,000, when I press enter, I'm in AZ 40,000. So if I want to go back to A1, I just put A1. I'm back. So if you know where you want to go, then just go into the name box and do that. I'm preparing all of you here to understand what I'm trying to say later. So all these are the interface that I'm going to use, right? Okay, so now that you know how many columns and how many rows, and please be mindful not to select the column E and then go to the home and make it comma style, because you are going to do that for 1 million cell all the way down. Don't do that, right? You can write your formula with a E, but you don't format them, all right? So the link is broken. How is that? Can you try? I see. Is the link broken? Okay, it's here. Let me give you the link again. Yeah, let me give you a direct link to this. It's going to be quite long. Oh, you still go back to that. So maybe you would like to go to the incognito if you are using the Chrome. Otherwise, you use your Edge. I don't think it should be a problem. Yeah, the rest of them can use it. So it must be something that is blocking your computer. So why not you go to create an incognito? Just go to the corner here and just put a new incognito window. Maybe you try to click the link, copy the link over. It should be okay. Yeah. So the rest of them says the link is working. So yeah, you have to find your way then. Now let's look at my screen now. Now Excel is a very simple program. When I say simple program, is they don't think too much. And it's just like a human being. You will say this person is complicated or this person is not complicated. So Excel, I'm not talking about the functionality. I'm talking about how it behaves. It's very simple. They only can remember two sets of data. They only know two sets of data. And how do you work with the data? They are actually text and number. Now, this sounds like a kindergarten or a lower primary school kind of information. However, this is really important. This is how it works. If you understand this too, then it will reduce the kind of error you get when you write your formula. And at least you know why. Why is there an error? So I'm just going to go through with you anyway, right? So let's take a look at my E2. If I type 5 or maybe I type that 6,000, okay, wait, let me click here. 6,000. Why did it go there? 6,000. Now, I haven't pressed enter yet. So before I press enter, let me show you what's going on in this cell. This cell is using something called general, and it's actually not using any of those left, center, right. You see, I didn't use any left, center, or right, and it's set to general. Now, general simply means no specific format. So when I press enter, you will notice that the cell, the 6,000 actually goes to the right. So each time when you type a number into the cell, it goes to the right. And if you type in, like, let's just say I use one of your name here. Let's just say I put there Andy, A-N-D-I, right? I saw your name just now, A-N-D-I. So if you type a name, it will stay on the left. So that's the original attribute of the data. When there's a number, they go to the right. When there's a text, they go to the left. Now, if I type here Andy 6,000, they will stay on the left. So anything that is alphanumeric, they will stay on the left. If I put in here apostrophe 002000, and it will stay on the left. So all these are text. Now you must be wondering, why is Kelvin showing me this, right? Now, the important part comes. Pay attention, please. If I click on this button called auto sum, now what auto sum does is that it actually adds up all the value. So when I click this, what do you think is the answer? Can I see in the chat? What do you think is the answer? Okay, Christian says 6,600. No, I mean 600. Error. So yes, some of you had it right. It's only 6,000. Now, why? Now, let's go slow down a little bit. If I write my formula equal to sum, I want you to see this. It says there, add all now the keyword here is number. They add only the numbers from the range of cell. Okay, so if I do that, even though I highlighted so many cells here, there are 4 cells, but they only recognize the number and they give you that. So Excel doesn't care about your text. They only look for the number. The formula that I'm using now, okay, if I want to know what is the formula that I am writing in this particular cell E7, I'll just put the formula text E7. It will show me what's the formula I'm using. Okay, so let's just say I write a formula. I want to see if you are confused. Huh? What do you think is the answer if I write like this? I take equal to 6,000 and I actually plus it with the 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 0. What do you think is the answer this time? 6,000? 8,000? Yes, it's 8,000. Huh? So Excel doesn't care about whether it's text or number when you are writing a formula that uses mathematical operation. If it's a mathematical operation plus subtract, multiply, or divide, they don't really bother. They don't really bother about the text or number. As long as the cell contains number, they will perform the equation. So this is where we will be cursing Excel. Excel, how do I know when you can do it, when you cannot do it, right? Now, it's actually us. How do we write that formula? How do we write that formula? And then they will perform, right? Remember, Excel is just a piece of software that follows logic. If you tell them A, they will just perform A. If you tell them B, they'll just perform B. So it's our instruction that they will act upon. So if you are using a sum function, the sum function says only add up the value, number. But when you use the plus symbol, they do not care whether you give me text or number. As long as you give me number, I know what to do. If I go to this cell, 002000A, which means this is no longer just number, they'll give me error. Because they wouldn't know how to do algebra in the first place. Huh? So let's take away this. There you go. All right. Now, one very common problem that we always face in our work, especially when we download the data. Let's take a look at this column I. This column I here. So I have number like 6019, 5648, 3386, 9820. All this appear and you see, when I double click this, you see what happened? I use a sum function. When I enter, oops, it didn't give me any answer. Simply because the sum function does not react when you give them text. Now, how do I know if this is number or this is text? So we can have a way to check. Now, let's check. I would like to know in this I3, is the content a number? So we ask Excel, is number. So tell them, I3 is number or not. So my return result is going to be a true or false. So if they are a number, it will be true. But if they are not a number, it will be false. So in this case, it says false, which means this particular cell does not have any number. When they don't have any number, that means they are text. And when you perform the sum, they don't work. Okay, so now you know the problem. You know this is the problem, right? So what is the solution? Now, there are a couple of solutions that you can use on this. Let's do something we are all very good at, right? Can I confirm, and you type in the chat, can I confirm with all of you here? Are you guys very, 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 3 times very here, good in copy and paste? Oh, there are people talking about the certificate. Don't worry about that. You get it, you get it, you don't get it, you don't get it. Let's focus on the learning first. All right. So are you guys very good in the copy and paste? Yes, yes, everyone here is good. I will call you an expert in copy and paste. So let's do just that, copy and paste. I'm going to type 1 here. I'm going to type in K2, I type 1, right? I'm going to copy, Control C, copy the 1. I'm going to highlight this. Now, I'm not going to paste. I'm not going to paste just like that, because if I do that, then this 6019 would become 1, right? Right? So you don't paste as value as well, but you go to the paste special. Now, in this particular dialog box, if you look at the paste button, it's actually divided into two, the upper button and the lower button. So if you click the lower button, you'll get the extension of that particular paste. You go to this thing called paste special. So I'm going to go into the paste special now. Now, in this dialog box, okay, remember, I made a copy of this COPY here, COP. Now, sorry about my writing here, copy. I copy this one and I highlighted this range. When I paste, I don't want to just paste it, but I want to paste multiply. I would like to take 6019 and I multiply with 1, I will still get 6019. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the paste operation to do this work. So when I hit OK, now you notice that I highlighted the 6 value here. Click OK. All of them turn into number and they calculate it for me. Do you get it? So for those of you who are following me, you notice when I copy and paste it over, I did not paste just the value. I did the operation. I multiply. I take the 1 and I multiply with each of the number. Now, if you look through this, remember I explained this again earlier. If you use a function, it won't work. When you use a normal mathematical operation, they will work. So, but I'm not writing a formula. I'm just using a copy and paste. All right. Now I'm going to undo this. Okay. I'm going to undo this. What happened if I use 0? I copy the 0. I go to this. So in the chat, tell me, what should I use? Shall I multiply? Yes, you should add. Now, not only add, you can also subtract. Right? You cannot divide by 0. In mathematics, there is no such thing called you divide by 0. You're going to get error. So you can either add or you can subtract. Only these two. You cannot multiply. If you multiply, everything will turn to 0. Yeah, you can use add or subtract. So majority of you says add. I'm going to click add. Oh, there are a lot of subtract as well. Okay, good. So anyway, 6019, you add a 0, you still get 6019. 6019, you subtract a 0, you still get 6019. So you see, you still get the same result. So there's two numbers that you can use. You cannot use 2, you cannot use 3, you cannot use 4. It's either 1 or 0. Now, this is one of the method. If you want, if you want another method, okay, let me take away this one first. You can use formula. So what you do is you use value, and you point to this cell. You are converting the cell value, the information in I3 into value. Value means number. You can only use that method. Okay, that's another method. So the formula is equals to formula text of whatever the cell here. So the formula is equals to value. Okay, same thing. Now, I'm not talking about the apostrophe here. You notice if I click here in the cell, there is no apostrophe. I'm talking about those data that you download from the system. It can be from your text file, it can be a PDF, it can be from your website when you downloaded it. It does not keep the number value, but it keeps it as a text value. So when it come in, you don't see the apostrophe. If you can see the apostrophe, then it's a very easy way. You just go to that green color thing, just convert the number. That's fine. But now, without that green color marker, without the apostrophe, how are you going to do that? Okay, so this is an instance where you don't have other choice, but you have to use this kind of method to do it. Okay, that's number 2, formula. The third one is a lot. Just don't have to do copy and paste, don't have to write value. Just highlight that set of number, go to your data, text to column. Okay, you don't even need to go through the step 1 of 3. You just click finish, and it turns into number. Either way works. Right? There are 3 solutions to this particular problem. All right, I just want to give you guys a kickstart on if you happen to get yourself into such situation, you know what to do. All right, so just to give you some idea about what is text and number and so on. So are we clear how to do some of these things? So the last one that I mentioned is just go to the selection, go to the data ribbon, text to column under your data tools, text to column, and then all you need to do is just click finish. You don't have to do the step 1, step 2, step 3 because you are not playing with any of those delimiter or whatever. Right? This is just converting this text to number. That's all. All right. Now let's go to the second important information here. All this, I guess you already know. So I'm going to go down slightly. We're going to talk about date this time. Now, date is another critical information in Excel. Most of our report are somewhat related to date. So if let's say your boss suddenly just speak up to you and say, please give me your March report. So that's related to date. Give me a first quarter report. Again, it's referring to date. Tell me what's the sales last week. Last week, again, all related to date. So date is very critical. It's very critical information that all of you should know. Now, in order for you to get the date, okay, in order for you to get a date, you can try to use the keyboard shortcut Control plus a semicolon. So semicolon. So just type a control semicolon. Let's say I come down to the cell, press control semicolon. I'm going to get today's date. Today is the 8th of April, 2023. And when I press enter, now it went to the right. So in this action alone, we have two very important information. Number one, it goes to the right, which means date is actually a number and it's not a text. So let me prove it to you. Is number, point to this cell, it says yes, true. So I'm writing a is number. Is this date a number? It says yes. All right, here you go. Right. Now there are still a lot of people asking about the attendance and so on. Don't worry about that. That will come. That will come. Let's make this 2 hour with me, just me. Don't ask about your certificate. Don't ask about anything else. Okay? Can I beg you? Right? Just listen because I want you to get the most out of what you're learning, not the certificate. So what's so important about the piece of paper they're going to get, right? So don't worry. If you want, I can print 1,000 copy for you. So please just listen to me and follow through my session here, please. Now, what I also want you to know in this is every date is a number. Let me prove. The second proof here is I click this equal to E13. This is the date. Now, because the cell is showing the date, why is the date showing in this particular cell? Is because of what? Okay, let me just go to my home ribbon. If you look up here, it actually shows date. So this cell has been formatted to date. That's why you're looking at date. But if I turn it to general, general means no specific format, click it. And today, the number is 45024. That's today's number. Every day comes with a serial number. So this is actually your serial number. 4524, 45024 is a serial number. So this serial number has no meaning. The serial number must start with 1. After 1 is 2. After 2 is 3. After 3 is 4, right? So when does Excel date starts? It starts on the 1st of January, 1900. So that's number 1. 2nd of January, 1900, that's 2. Right, that's 2. So the date starts counting from 1st of January 1900. It's a serial number behind it. What are we looking at is basically the formatting of that number so that it turns into date. So today, when I press Control semicolon, 8th of April 2023, it's 45,024 days since 1st of January 1900. So this is basically just a number. So that is lesson number 1 about this date when we press Control semicolon. The second lesson we learn from here is when I press Control semicolon, it shows me 8/04/2023. So my computer that I'm using to perform this demonstration is they are using day, month, then followed by year. Day, followed by month, followed by year. I know some of you will be using MDY. You will read month, followed by day, followed by year. So depending on your computer date system, computer date system. So today is 8th of April. So if you look at the bottom here, this is your computer date system. It will follow. All Excel application follows their Windows date system. So if this is 8th of April, it will show you 8th of April. If your computer date system is using the US format, which is month followed by day followed by year, then you will see 4/8. Okay, so now we are aware what is the format that my computer is using. So the reason why I do not want you guys to type the date just now was I don't want you to be biased to your what you learn in school. Your school may be teaching you Monday year, but your computer is using day, month, year. So the control semicolon will be able to test the computer whether they are using a day, month, year format or a Monday year format. So just follow your computer date. Now, if I use day, month, and year, I completed my work. I completed my work, I saved my file, and I send it to Christian. Christian Clean, I send it to you. And your computer, let's just say your computer is reading month, followed by day, followed by year. When you open up my file, the date will automatically translate to 4/8. It will not be 8/4. Okay. I have a question. How could I get data from multiple sheets? Data are not into table. Data are not into table. Get data from multiple sheets. There are so many ways. I have no idea. I have no idea what you are asking there, but yes, it's possible. But as of how, we need to look at the data because there is no one way to do all that. It depends on the nature of your data. Okay, so that question is a little bit, there's something a little bit too tricky for me to answer direct at the moment. All right, so now this is, let's come back to this. This is date. Now, let me ask all of you here. Okay, let's just say I ask, let me just call out some easy name. Aldrin, can I ask you a question, Aldrin? If I give you today, 8th of April, and I give you a project, and this project, I want you to complete it in 1,000 days. When will you finish this project for me? When will be your deadline? So it's very simple, right? I just take the date. I just add another 1,000. Why is it that I just use a plus symbol and it will work? Because the date is actually a number. So when I press enter, you will finish this right on the 2nd of January 2026. So if I copy this down here, you see that it's 45024 plus 1,000, there'll be 46024. So I actually add 1,000 day to this, and you tell me that 1,000 day from now is 2nd of January 2026. So you must remember the date has to be a date. Now, if you are using like what my computer do, DMY, day, month, year, but you type in there 4/8, the American style. So when I press enter, you notice I'll get a different answer. Instead of 2nd of January, I have to finish it by 30th of April. Now, this is wrong. Today is 8th of April, not 4th of August. You notice the problem now? So without this knowledge, you're going to get yourself into a serious situation, right? So you don't type the date. If you want today's date, just press Control semicolon and look at how the date is displayed. Then from then on, that's how you're going to type your date. Day, month, year, not Monday, year. Okay, so if you want, get your IT guys to help you to set up to day, month, year, or Monday, year according to the system that you want. It's all inside your control panel. Now, I'm not going to go there because I do not want you to play around with the settings and it ruin your whole computer. Your computer may have a lot of application that need certain date format. So don't play with that unless you know you have a green light to do that. Okay, but now if everything is going well in your computer, don't change it. Just embrace it, right? If this is day man year, just do it day man year. Don't worry about it. Okay. Okay, you want to go off already? You're asking when it's going to end. So we only started at 11:30. So we have 2 hours. So it should be about 1:30 Malaysian time. Yeah, it's a 2 hour session. So yeah. Now, this is the date, right? Now, what are we looking at here? We are looking at format. So if you are going to perform or do a sharing session or a teaching or a meeting online, like using this Microsoft Team now, and you display this date on your screen, but your audience are international audience. There are many different countries of audience attending this particular session. So take note, everyone will interpret your date differently. So let's not put your date, display your date, present and display your date in this kind of format. So let's see how we can present our date in a way that everyone will understand. So I'm going to put control semicolon. I go to this C11, put this control semicolon. I do not want to show the 04 and then the 08. That this is going to be very confusing. So what I'll do is I'll change the 04 to wordings like April. Now, I'm not going to type it myself. I just have to change my cell format. So I'm going to right click this. I go to the format cell. Yep, format cell. Now, I want to go a little bit further in detail. I'm going to go to custom instead. I can always use this, but I want to go to custom instead. So I want to show you what is the format that they are using by default. This is following your computer system. Day followed by month followed by year. Why am I getting 08? Because there's double D there. Why am I getting 04? Because there's a double M. If I only have one D and one M, the 0 will not appear. Okay, so just to let you know on that. Now, I'm going to make some modification. I'm going to remove this DDMMYYYY. So you see it's 45024, just the same number as I showed you earlier in the serial number. Now, I'm going to do some testing. I'm going to put 1D. So you notice 1D, you get 8. 2D, you get 08. When you put 3D, you get 008. Am I getting 008? No, I did not. So you look carefully, I'm actually getting SAT. This SAT stands for Saturday in short. Okay, so if I do not want it to show SAT, I want to show the full name of the day, I'll put 4D. 1D, 2D is for digit, 3 and 4 is the day of the week. So I'm going to put a comma space, D space, then I'll put M. M stands for month, right? 1M, 4, 2M, 04, 3M, I'll get APR, short name for the month. But if I want the full name, I'll put 4M. Right? Then I will put a space, Y. Now, by doing this, okay, let me just copy this. By doing this formatting, I'll show my date in this format now. So I'm just going to paste it here to let you see how the format actually works. I can put this DDDD at the back if I want to, but I chose to put in front so that I got a Saturday, 8th of April, 2023. So what if I have an international audience? When they look at my screen, they will see 8 April. So there will not be any confusion when you are presenting your data. Likewise, if you print it out on a piece of paper, imagine if 8 years down the road, you open up your file and you see this 8 April, 8 April, you know it's 8 April. You are not going to say this is August 4th. Because if it's going to show 8/4, you might misunderstood that this is August 4th. Now, but when you print it out in 8 April like this, it won't go wrong. Isn't it? So this format is so much clearer to everyone. We are not going to confuse our audience, our stakeholder, whoever that's viewing our presentation, our our file, they will not be confused. All right, so where do I go? Right click, I go to the format cell. You will go to the custom, and you start working on it. So let me just change a little bit. I decided to put the DDD at the back. So I take this one off. I go to the back, I space, I put a bracket instead, right? I put a DDD, 4D, close bracket. So that's how it looks like now. So that's how it looks like. See, in bracket. There you go. Okay. Now, I want to have a fun with you guys. If you have your Excel with you, right? If you have Excel with you on your screen, right, and you have already formatted this on your screen, I want you to tell me, right, which day were you born? Were you born on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday or Sunday? Which day were you born? For those of you who are with your laptop now or your computer now, and you have formatted this, can you tell me, do you know which day you were born? Hey, you Friday, same with me. Mine on the 2nd of 1973. Yes, I'm 50 years old this year. So when I press enter, yeah, I was born on Friday. Me and my mom is in the labor room waiting to come out. I'm waiting to come out to see the world for the first time on the 2nd of February 1973. So that is the day very meaningful between me and my mom. All right. So yes. Now I know which day I was born. So is there anyone Saturday? Oh, Julie, you are on Saturday. So happy birthday to you. We're going to celebrate birthday every week now, not every year once, but we're gonna celebrate every week. There must be a reason for you to celebrate something. So this is going to be one of the reasons. You were born on Friday, Saturday. If it's Saturday, Julie, happy birthday to you. Yes, Sumala, you are also on Saturday. Good. So happy birthday to those of you who are born on Saturday. Very, very good. Yeah, Andy, happy Saturday. So happy birthday to you too. So now you can spend time with your mom, or if family during your auspicious day. Your auspicious day is Saturday. Right. So I hope you understand what I'm going through with you here. So date again is a very important information when you present. All right. Yeah. Good. Right now, let's look at number. Let's look at number. Now, when we talk about number, okay, let's just say I type here 8765432 So this is the number that we type in. I purposely type in a huge number now. If we want this number to appear something easy to understand, so usually we will click the cell and we go into this comma style. So when I point my mouse over the comma style, it says there comma style, format with 1,000 separator, which means for every 1,000, Microsoft Excel will break it using 1,000. Right, so I'm going to click this now. See, for every 1,000, there will be a comma. So now when we present this to our bosses, they are very happy. They can read it easily. Without the formatting, then they have to count how many digits are there, right? But when the comma style, it looks a lot easier to understand. So this is a very common formatting that we are using. The formatting that we are using for this, let me just right click, format cell. The basic formatting, if I go to this customer, I go all the way up, I click this. These are all the symbols we use. The hash, comma, hash, 0.00. So you notice this is a sample that we are using. We are using this formatting now. Okay, we are using that formatting. There you go. Okay, so it's like hash, sorry, hash, comma, hash, 0.00. That's the formatting that we are applying to this particular cell now. Okay, when we use a comma style, basically we are using this. So what does this symbol hash and 0 actually represent? Both symbols, now I would consider this 0 as also a symbol. Both the symbol are used to represent number. I repeat, they are actually representing number. Okay, so what does 0 actually represent? Zero means mandatory. Now, if you look carefully, the value that I type inside the cell here is until 321, but I didn't type any 00 at the back. No, I didn't do any 00, but they will show me the 0. So when there is no number to represent, they will display the 0. So this is mandatory. 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 Yeah. They must show something. If there's no value, they must show something. So in this case, they must show the 0 because there's no value after the 1. If unless I put there .99, then they will show 99. But since there's no numbers after the decimal, therefore they are showing 0. Okay. Now, do you notice that they are showing the comma in my answer here? Okay, so if I put here 34, and I apply the same formatting, do you notice that the number doesn't show any hash symbol in front? There's no hash symbol in front because this particular hash symbol is optional. Only when there is a number, the symbol will be used to represent the number. So they are always invisible. They are always invisible. When they are invisible, that means you don't see any of the hash symbol in front here. Means you don't see things like this, hash, comma, hash, 34.00. You don't see that. Okay. You don't see these two symbols in front because there's no value for them to represent. Only when the number move far more than 100, that means it went into 1,000, therefore it will bring out the comma. This comma, right, appear because of these two symbols here. These two symbols, because of them, the comma can appear. But if you look through, doesn't come with any comma because the number is less than 1,000. Only when it's more than 1,000, you see a comma. So what happens when it's more than 1,000 of 1,000? Then you see another comma, and they keep on going. So this is 87,654,384. Okay, so just to give you some idea. Okay, now, what happens if I tell you now? Okay, listen. What happens if I tell you now? When you want to present this information to the big bosses, the directors, okay, the shareholder of the company, they do not want to read this long 13 character. When I say 13 means you see 8 plus the 0, 0 become 10, and there's a comma, and dot. So altogether, there are 13 characters. So you will notice that in most of the directors' report, in your shareholder report, they don't show long digit like this. They will show the number nearest to the million. So for example, I want to show this in 87.7 million. I would like to show this set of number like this, which means I want to convert this set of number to look like this when I present it to my bosses. Okay, I want to display this. Now I can't type the 87.7M myself because it will become text. Because of the alphabet, now this is no longer a number. Therefore, how do we approach that? We will use the formatting. Because I'm going to right click this for myself. Okay, I'm just going to use a custom again, the same one that I used earlier. Okay, over here. Now, notice that I only need one decimal place. Therefore, I don't need two zeros here. So I'm going to remove the zero, one of the zero. Now, in every 1,000, there will be a comma. But since this number is in million, there's two comma. So after the zero, now I want you to pay attention to the sample if you are with me. You pay attention to the sample. If I put a comma after the zero, it will round up to the nearest 1,000. If I want to round up to another 1,000, I put another comma. Each comma will help you to round up the number to the nearest 1,000. So since I have million, I have two comma, so I put two comma, and I put an open quotation, M, and close quotation. So let me just copy this. Okay, there you go. So that's the formatting that I'm using. Oh, what a long text. um, Eric, we will take this. We'll take this some other time. You can contact me. I'll try my best to help you on that. But right now, I have my content that I would like to complete within this 2 hours. So I hope you don't mind. You can contact me privately, and we will talk about that. Right? I need to look at your data. By just reading this, I won't know what you want to achieve. Right? There is no one click button that I can help you solve that. So I will need to see the data in order to give you the best solution to that. So sorry about that, Eric. Hope you understand. Right. So you notice this number is now similar to what I desired to have, isn't it? It's exactly the same now. Only different is this 87.7 M is still on the right, which means this is still a number, but this is not. This is text. So I want you to see the screen here. This is how we format them, and this is the original value. The original value is still there, 8765431. I did not sacrifice a single dollar from the formatting. It is still 8765431. However, it is being displayed in this format. So for the sake of our director's report, our annual report, usually we would like to round it up to the nearest. Usually we don't put an M, but at the top of that column, we'll put there apostrophe 000.00 in million, something like that. Or you can put the word in million. So 87.7, then on top there is million. Then everybody know that you are talking about millions. Now, please don't type 87.7. It's going to be $87.7. No, this is 87.7 million. The number is in million. Okay? So that's the formatting. That's the formatting. So how we do that is we can set the condition to format it ourselves. Now, in this example, I'm just going to tell you that in every cell, when we format, they come with default cell number format. So the default, every cell comes with 4 formatting, 3 for number, 1 for text. So we have positive number, negative number, neutral, and text. Neutral and text. So let me just go through this over here to this side. Let's take a look at this. A very simple table now. If you are presenting this report to the stakeholder, right? If you are presenting this kind of information to them, so they will have to read the number and they will have to careful looking at the minus symbol in order to know that this is a negative, positive, 0, then positive again. Now, what if I tell you that whenever it's a positive, I want it to become green. Whenever it is a negative, I want it to turn red. And whenever it's a neutral value, I want it to turn blue. Okay, 1, 2, and 3 different color. So how can I format this? Okay, so this is how you put it. Remember, the first number is always set for positive, second negative, the third one is neutral. So this is how we're going to write this. This is how we're going to do it. So I'm going to double click this, copy. So I highlight all this, format cell. I just replaced it. So what I'm doing is I'm telling Excel, if the value is a positive number, make it blue. If this is not blue, positive number, make it red color and put a bracket around it to show that this is a negative value. And if not, then green. Oh, I say the other way around. Blue and green. Okay, never mind. You know the drill. You can put green here, you can put blue here. Now it doesn't matter. So when I hit OK, you see there will be in different number, different color. So if the last one here, this is not 60 and this is 76, this is not 60, but let's just say this is 90. Okay, sorry, 90. So there will be a negative. When it's a negative, it comes with a bracket red color. So that's the formatting that I'm using. So, over here. Okay. Now, if you don't like the blue, you don't like that green, you can change it to the color you want. You notice that the next line here, I say color 23. Now let's look at the cell. Color 23, this is the blue color. Color 10, this is the green color. Now I don't like this green, I don't like this blue. So I can change the color based on the code that I give you. This is actually a picture. This is a picture. What I've done here is I sort of like created this spreadsheet to show you that each cell can hold up to 56 color. So each number represent a color. So if you put 1, it's black. If you put 2, it's white. Now, basically, the first row, it comes with a name. It's actually red, green, blue. Sounds familiar, right? RGB. Then CMYK. Cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And the second one, why is there nothing? Now, it's actually white in color because my background is white, you don't see. That's why I have the second table here, which is a darker color. You see the white. So depending on your cell, if the cell has a dark color, you would like to look at the second table here and see which color is much more outstanding. If you have a white color background, which color is much more outstanding? You can choose the color as you go. Now, because my background is white in color, I will just focus on this first table. I would like to use color 23 for blue. I would like to use color 10 for green. Now for red, unless I want to change it to a different red color, I'll do that. Otherwise, I will just use the red. So I can put there color 3. Now, of course, if I don't want to put color 3, I can put RED. That's okay. Now, only the first row comes with name. The rest of this, I do not know how to spell the name. I have no idea what are their names. So we go by number. If you want color 9, this is brown color. Color 10 is green and dark blue. I do not know what color is this. Purple. And there are so many tint of purple. You choose the one that you like best. So if I want to change, I don't like this blue, I don't like this green. I want color 23 and color 10. So let me just highlight this. Now I've given you the code already. So I just highlight this. I click format cell. I just replace it. There you go. So now it's a much mature blue and green rather than the earlier color, which is very fluorescent blue, very fluorescent green. Now they mellow down a little bit, not so striking anymore. Are we okay with this? Now, for those of you who have the file, right? If you have the file, so just follow through. Okay, I have a question. So earlier you said that formatting is wait, went too far down already. Applied for the 1,000. So lower than 1,000, is it going to be green or it stays black? Wait, you said applied 1,000. So no, I didn't. This one doesn't come with any condition. This one is like positive, negative, 0. So your question here is earlier it said that the Z applied to the 1,000. No, it's not applied to the 1,000. The symbol that I mentioned just now, all this hash, comma, hash, 0.00, this is the common formatting that used for all number. So whenever the number is more than 1,000, then you will see the comma. So this is the common one. There's no, it doesn't say that it's only for 1,000. No, it will show the comma when it's 1,000. If the number is less than 1,000, then they will just show the number without a comma. Okay, so now the next thing that we talk about is we would like to color the value. We like to color the value. If the color, if the value is like positive, it regards whether it's more than 1,000 or not. So let me just be careful with this. So this is 90. Okay, let me just copy this from here. So this is 22. So okay, this one, maybe I'll just make this one as 3. Yeah. So you see 30, it will still be blue. It doesn't mean it will turn red. No, it will still be blue. It won't turn black because the value is a positive value. That's it. I hope I answer your question. Okay, what other question? Are those the default set of color? Yes, they are. This one, if you don't dig deep enough into Excel, you will not know about this color. Okay, if you don't dig deep enough, usually you will just use the color from here. But how are you going to take this color and put it inside your formatting code? You can't. So you need to tell them which color you want to without them to change when it's a positive value. Now you need to know the color code. They have only up to 56 different color. If you try 57, you don't get any color. Right? Yeah, still question about the certificate. Huh? So I tell you guys, this information here, this color here is actually set by me. So you can just follow the number. It's okay. You just follow the number. So keep the file, you will have this particular set of colors. Okay, you have this particular color, you just choose it. If you use a black color and you say, I want my text to look very gold, so you can use 44 to make it look gold, or you want to use 45 to make it very orangey gold, depending on what kind of gold color do you want, you can use them. All right, so please go ahead and apply the number. They are actually the same number on both sides, just that the different color background, that's all. Light color background and dark color background. Okay, now let's do something interesting here. Everyone, let's take a look. Yes, somebody have a question. Who is that raised the hand? Suraj, are we supposed to take the question now or when? Are they?
We can take the questions after you're done. That will be better so that you can be
All right,
done with the
then I'll
presentations and
just
everything. Mhm.
yeah, then I'll just continue first. Sorry, guys. I know you raised your hand, but I will attend to you at the end of the session. Okay, now I want to talk about finding the status. Now, when we find the status, right, I do not want to see the number anymore. Instead, I would like to see the symbol. I want to use a symbol. So I highlight all this. I will just say equals to whatever value this side. Okay, I just put whatever value that is inside there, put in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to perform a formatting. Okay, I want to perform uh, formatting so that I don't want to see the number, which means I don't use the hash symbol anymore. I will only use the symbol. Whenever the number is a positive number, I would like to show an up arrow, an up triangle. When it's a negative value, I want to show a down triangle. Whenever it's a zero, maybe I want to show a heart shape. Right? I can do that. So this is what I'm going to do now. Okay, so now I think I will write it out here first, then I will copy and paste it inside. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do it based on, sorry about my movement on the screen. I'm going to take this one. I copy, I'll paste it here. All right. So like I said, I want to maintain the color, but I don't want to show the number. So in order to replace this with a symbol, this if I don't show this hash comma hash hash zero, then no number will appear. So I'm going to change this into a symbol. I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to insert a symbol by using the Windows emoji. I'm not sure whether you know about the Windows emoji. You can hold down your Windows key, Windows on your keyboard, and press full stop, right? Windows dot, you'll get the emoji. So I'm going to type here arrow, and you notice there's an arrow. So since this is a positive number, I will use the up arrow. So they will show me an up arrow. I will just close this one first. I will highlight the second one here, Windows dot, then I type arrow again, right? Arrow, then I choose the down arrow. I close this one. So what happened when it's a zero value? So I don't want to show the zero. I want to show a symbol. So I Windows dot again. Let's just say I show the heart. There you go. Windows dot, yeah, you type the Windows dot. So the keyboard shortcut is you type the window plus the dot. Dot means your full stop, Windows dot. That will return with the emoji. Okay, the Windows dot is not Excel's feature. It's never an Excel feature. You can use it anywhere. Even if you use the WhatsApp, dot, dot, it will come out. Even if you use your Microsoft Teams, your Microsoft Outlook, dot, dot, it will come out the emoji. You can choose the emoji. So what kind of expression you want, you just type it out. They will go to the list, and then you can just pick and choose from the list. Windows dot, yes. Now that since I have done this, I will just highlight everything that I want, copy, go into this cell, right click, format cell. When I go into the format cell, I will just replace whatever formatting that I have here with the latest one that I typed in here just now. You notice I do not use the hash or zero now. Therefore, when I hit OK, there will be no number. It's actually showing the symbol. Okay. Now, if I change some of this value now, all right? So this one, I change it to let's say I change this one to 6-1, right? 6-1. So it's this. If I change this one to 5 originally, so it went up again. There you go. So when you present this to your stakeholder, do you think so that you actually save their time trying to understand the number, especially when they are in millions? You can show the status as well. So all they want to know is which product there's an increase of sales, which product there's a decrease of sales. If let's say it's not product, it's the salesperson's name here. Whose sales dropped? Any one of the salesmen, their sales dropped. Any of the salesmen, their sales went up. Any of the salesmen, their sales didn't go up or down, remain the same. There you go. It can be quickly understood by showing the symbol. So I hope you like what you just see here. Now, a lot of digest, this is just the fundamental of it, okay? It's not really going into serious. Now, because I only have 2 hours, you notice I speak very fast. I'm very sorry that I speak so fast and I really didn't answer all your questions over there in the chat. However, this particular presentation is recorded. So, and the recording is going to be given to you anyway. So if you don't follow some of this, it's fine. You can always watch the recording and just try again. Because when you watch the recording, you can pause. At the moment, you cannot click pause on me. You cannot do that, right? So let me just continue talking first. You can always revise using the video recording later, right? All right, so I'm going to go to a little bit more intense one. This one, okay, right? You're using the default positive, negative, neutral, and text. Now, I didn't mention much about text because we are dealing with numbers. So let's go to the left-hand side again. This one. Just now, we are using the default. Now, let's come back to this. Okay. If the value that we are working on are in million, therefore, it shows this. However, if the value is only 38,291, I just hit some number on the keyboard. Let's see what happens if I press enter now. It shows there 0.0 billion. So this is not a good way to present to my stakeholder. I cannot tell, Chairman, the sales is 0.0 million. That sounds weird, but you can't be telling your Mr. Chairman and say, actually it's 38,291. You cannot be telling that, Mr. Chairman, you look here. Don't look here, don't look here. Look here. Then what's the point of you putting in this in, right? Now, this particular formatting that I'm working on now, it's not very dynamic. I repeat, they are not dynamic. So let's make it dynamic, shall we? I'm going to make it dynamic. Now, I'm going to continue from here. This is the formatting that I used earlier. Now, what I want to do is I want Excel to use this formatting that I'm using. Now, let me just go in closer. I want Excel to use this formatting when the value is in million. So how do I give that instruction? So how we write it is down here. You see, when we want to customize the condition, we put it in the square bracket. Earlier, we used the square bracket for the purpose of color. That is also a condition. However, this condition is only when it is more than a million, you use this formatting. Otherwise, you check another condition, you use this formatting. So we no longer use positive, negative, or zero. We don't want to use the default anymore. We want to customize the condition to our own requirement. So therefore, I click inside here, I put there in bracket, in the square bracket, greater than equal to 1 million. So how it works here is when the value is more than a million, yes, it's more than a million, then they will use this formatting. Okay, so what happened when it is not more than a million? Cross. It's not more than a million. Then we will prepare the second formatting. We'll prepare the second formatting, right? So what is separating the first and second formatting? Okay, if you look down here is a semicolon, right? So I didn't press enter just now, so I have to type this again. Now I'm typing it outside first, then I will copy and paste it into, because it's easier to type here. So I just put here greater than equal to 1 million. So at the end, I will put a semicolon. So now I'm going to prepare my second formatting. Now I'm a bit lazy and time constrained, so I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it at the back. Now by doing that, I'm actually having double, right? Now, if I already check whether it's a million, I'll use this one. Then the second one, I shouldn't check if there's a million. I should only check when it is 1,000. If the value is 1,000, then what I'm going to do? 1,000 only have one comma. A million has two comma. 1,000 will have only one comma. And the alphabet is not M, the alphabet is K. K stands for kilo. Now, if all of you should know, okay, let's just say distance. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meter. Okay, let's talk about weight. 1 kilogram is actually 1,000 gram. Right? So K represent 1,000. That's what most people use the K for. Now, after you have done this, you say, if this is greater than a million, then you use this. So what happened and it's not? Now you check whether they are more than 1,000. So if the answer is yes, you use this. So what happened when it's no? Now you need another one. Correct? So the last one that you're going to put here is 0.00. No more condition. You're going to end it there. Because one cell can only have 3 number formatting and 1 text formatting. So you are using all the 3 already. There you go. So this is the formatting. All right. Now let me just make it a little bit smaller so they can see everything. Double click this. I will copy the whole thing. I go into the cell. I go into the cell. Format cell. I'll just paste it here. In case you can't follow what I'm writing here, I paste it into the chat. You can copy from the chat and put it in there. Now you notice that the number is no longer 0.0 million. It's 38.3K. So let me just put there equals to this cell. So on this one, I put it to this general like that. Okay, this is the number. So you notice it's rounded up to 38.3K. So if I change this to a huge number, then okay, this is not related to the floor. So sorry, I shouldn't have done. I should have done it here. Big number like this. then you will see 45.6 M, 45.6 M. If the number is only 28, then you show there 28.00. Okay, so what are we doing here? We are actually creating our own formatting. So let me just make it red, this one. Let me just tell you that this is actually the purple color. And the last one here, I'll make it green. Now I use the color to differentiate different formatting. They are all separated using the semicolon. Okay, so that will become so convenient for those of you who present big data, big information. So 67.4 M. Instead of showing this number, they're showing this. So moving from the default formatting, okay, moving from what we learned about the default formatting, we can actually customize our own formatting, our own condition to apply the first formatting, the second condition when they apply the formatting, and the third one. So you stop with the second condition, don't go to the third condition anymore, because after that you cannot tell them to go to the next one. Right? So there's only 3 cells that contains the number. Right? So that's the very, very basic. Now, in most of my classes, when I teach Excel, right, now this is my very fundamental information that I give to my audience. And I do a lot slower than now. Sorry if I go too fast. Usually I go quite slow because I want my student who is in front of me understand what's going on. Now is a one-way traffic, that's why I'm going a little bit fast. Okay, so I see a lot of comment in the chat. You guys are great. You guys are awesome. Now, I hope I have time to actually answer all your questions that you posted. Suraj, you're going to summarize it for me. What are the questions? All right, now
Sure,
I'm
I'll
going to
do that.
move. Okay, I'll just move on. You see, I have a few other worksheets here. I have about another 40 minutes to go. So let me show you the next one. Now, all these are quite generic in whatever you do every day. So let's take a look. If I want to know for the product number 1, what is the total? Usually this is what we do, right? We will just click auto sum and then enter, we get the answer. And what happened is when we just copy it down. Now let's slow down and understand what's just happened, right? So I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to write a formula text over here. Now this is for me to explain to you. Now, the first formula I have written here was equal to sum D3 to F3. Now, this is the reference. So the next few topics that we're going to talk about is more on Excel referencing that we use for formula. So we are talking about D3, F3 now. Okay. So this is what we are using currently. And then later, after that, I drag it down. I drag down. And you notice that it gives me different answer. Now that's because it no longer actually count or calculate the D3 to F3, but it went to 4. Then it went to 5, then it went to 6, all the way down to 13. So each time when I copy this down, the formula, the reference moved from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, all the way to 13. And why are they moving 3 to 4? Because the direction says, okay, the direction says from top to bottom like this, right? Therefore, number 3 will move down to 13. Row number is changing because you are copying down, the row number is changing. Now I know I'm very slow on this, but I just want you to understand why this thing happened. And what is this thing that you are looking at, D3, F3? They are basically the reference type called relative reference. They relatively move when you are copying the formula. You copy from one cell to another cell. That depends on how many columns did you move, how many row did you move. They will relatively just move the reference. Okay. So you have already experienced what I shown you here, which is like you are copying the formula down. Okay, so now the row number change. If you have a total down here, you copy to the right. So let me just put the formula text, this cell. Now you take a look. Okay, so what happened is when I copy from this cell to the last cell like this, copy it over, I'm actually changing from D to E, E to F, F to G. So what is changing? The column is changing. Notice that? From left to right, the column alphabet is changing. So again, this is also called relative reference. Now, in our normal language, our natural language that we speak, okay, these are called normal reference. Normal. Just a reference. It's just a normal reference. All right. Now, I'm going to remove my answers. For those of you who are with me with the file, okay, we're going to do this one more time. We're going to do this one more time. Okay, this is how I want you to do it. Not the way I do it just now. Get one, copy down, get one, copy to the right. No, I want you to do it this way. You highlight all the number with one empty column at the end, and make sure you have empty rows in your row. Now, let's see what happened. If I click auto sum now, ta-da! I can do it in just one click and not so many clicks. I don't have to do one and drag it down. I can just highlight them. You just have to make sure that you have one empty column that is available. Or let's just say I highlight till here. When I click auto sum, they only go to the last column and last row, which is empty. If it's not empty, then you don't get anything. Right. So I know I want to get a total in column G. I know that I want to put a total in row number 15. So I just highlight this, auto sum. That's how fast it can be done. One click, you get all of them. So don't work so hard. So this is what we call okay, we still have question on attendance. Anyway, so relative reference. Relative reference. Okay. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about here is the second type of reference. Okay, so I need to know this first product, DSR 100 ml, which fetched 25,938. Actually, this 25,938 is how many percent of the grand total? So I'm going to tell Excel. Now, before I write the formula, I just want you to know I formatted the cell to percentage. They are not automatic. By default, they are general. So I modified them and I changed it to percentage. So now I can write my formula. 25,000 divided by this 242,000. So both references that I'm using now, is a relative reference or a normal reference. So when I press enter, yes, I get the answer. Okay, so let me just show you the formula again. Formula text of this cell. So G3 over G15, fine. So if I click this and drag it down like what I did for the total earlier, now I'm going to get all error. So let's find out why. Because you are using something called a normal reference or relative reference per se, you will notice that the G3 will change to G4. G3 will change to G4. And your G15 is now to 16. And so happen your 16 has nothing in there. Therefore, you are dividing by 0. Remember earlier I was discussing with you, you cannot divide by 0. In mathematics, there's no such thing as you are dividing by 0. Because the cell is empty, Excel will define it as empty as 0. Therefore, you get all this error. So it looks like this formula that I have written up here cannot be dragged down by copying it. You cannot do that. Now, you can only do that if you tell Mr. G15, I consider this G15 is a guy. I say, Mr. G15, can you please stay and don't go away? Then Mr. G15 have a dialogue with me and say, okay, I'll do that. Just pay me. Now, what do you mean by just pay me? So I'm going to press my F4. You see, it comes with a dollar symbol. So G15 is demanding for money before they actually stay. All right, so we give them. You see that? We go down. So why is this G15 not moving now? Because G15 is so busy counting the money that they are not going anywhere. But if you look at G3, G3 doesn't come with money. So G3 will just move on. Right? So you add on the dollar symbol, they will stay. Just like every single one of us in this world. Why do you work for this company A? Because they still pay you salary. If they stop paying you salary, are you still going to work with company A? No, right? You'll move on to company B. Maybe company B pay you more than the company A. When company A stop paying you, that means you have to move on to another company. But because they still pay you, the dollar symbol is still there, then you stay. So that's how I explain what do you call this? Absolute reference. So absolute reference simply means a fixed reference. It's a permanent reference that will not move until you remove the money out from them. Okay? Karen, you give them the money, they will stay. Just like any one of us. Yes, we use the dollar symbol because we want them to stay. We don't want it to move. So if you look at the reference now, dollar G15, it didn't move a single cell because of the dollar symbol. Right? Now, basically, there are three different type of reference, but so far, my example, I will only show you relative and absolute. But I'm still going to explain to you the next one. Huh? So let me just zoom into this to see this formula. Okay. Okay. Wrong one. Here. This one. All right. Now listen. Sorry, something went into my eye. Okay, listen. Try and remember this term. Everyone, try to remember this term, this particular sentence. Money come first. What does it mean by money come first? Money come first means show me the money, then I'll do the work. Okay, so you notice that the money come before G. The money come before G. That means you tell G, this is your money. Take it. You notice that money come before 15. So you tell 15, this is your money. So if G and 15 both have the money, then that is an absolute reference. That will be an absolute reference. However, if you only give the dollar, $1 here, so this dollar, remember, money come first. So the money don't belong to G, but the money belongs to 15. G does not have money, dollar symbol there, which means if I copy my formula from left to right, then the G will go to H, I, J, K, and move on because G doesn't have dollar. But when I copy the formula down, the 15 has the money, the 15 will stay. You get it? So there are situations where you see, hey, how come there's no $2 symbol? There's only one. So observe where is the dollar symbol. Remember the term, money come first. So if the dollar symbol is in the middle, which means it actually belongs to the 15. So if I press F4 again, you notice now the dollar belongs to G, which means now if I copy from left to right, it will not go anywhere. It will still remain in G because G has the dollar. But the 15 now is without the dollar, which means if I were to copy up or down of that particular reference, it will go to 16, 17, 18, or 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, and so on. Depending on which direction you copy, is it up or is it down? So the 15 is now flexible and free to move around, but the G is not. If it's the other way around earlier, like only $15 is locked, the G is not. Now G is free to move left or right. This type of reference that I'm showing you, it means this is actually called the mixed reference. The one that I show you just now is called the mixed reference. So let me just give you a sample reference. Sample reference. Relative reference, they look like this, A1. Absolute reference will look $A, $1. Okay, so for mixed reference, it will be A$1, or it can appear as $A1. So this is just a sample reference for you to see. Remember the term, there are two terms there, right? One of them is money, right? You put the money. The other one is money come first. Money come first. So when the money comes first, that is the one that is locked. Money sign must come first. So these are some of the things that you should know about this. So just add the dollar into your reference, then that will work. No. Remember, this is an American software. Mohammed, this is an American software, not an English software. Not a Europe software. Maybe the Euro will use a symbol pound, but the Euro maybe. I'm from Malaysia. I wish they use ringgit Malaysia, but then they cannot. Okay, it's only dollar symbol. So that proves that Microsoft really wants money from you, right? Money face. Right. Anyway, there's another way. There's another method that you can use to make your reference absolute. Now that you already know the dollar symbol is to fix the reference, all right, we're going to do this exercise once more, but we're going to use a different approach. Okay, let's go there. I'm going to the next worksheet here called name range. Now, I'm going to write the percentage one more time. So let's revise the formula. Let's learn again the formula. To calculate this percentage, we're going to use what? Equals to this cell divided by this G15. And this G15, we must put the dollar symbol to lock it before we copy it down. Am I right? So we know that this G15, this cell, 242,000, the G15, is supposed to stay and don't go anywhere. Now, earlier, we give them the money. We give them the money. So this particular person, this G15, is a contract worker. They work, they get money. They don't work, they don't get money. But in this example, we are going to absorb this contract worker and to be part of our payroll. We make this contract worker a permanent worker. So we will give them a title. So we tell them G15, from now on, you are a permanent staff and your name is Total. So I go to my name box, I call it Total. I give this cell G15 a name. Where did I go? I go to the name box and I type this name, Total, which means G15 now has a name and the name is called Total. All right, so let's take a look. Yeah, equals to, I'm going to write the same formula. No, I'm going to use my mouse. I click G3 and I'm going to divide it by the G15. By the time when I click G15, no G15 to be seen anywhere. You see Total, because this particular G15 has a permanent status now. I'm a Total. It's very proud of the title. Ta-da, I get the answer. And I just have to copy it down. I'll get everything. I don't get any error message. All right, so let me put the formula text here. When you give the cell a name, that name is permanent until you remove them. So you notice you don't have to put the dollar symbol anymore. You just have to name the cell, and the cell now carries the name until you sack them from the company. Okay, you give a name, they will be permanent. So now, how do we sack this Total? This person, this G15, how do we sack this G15 from the company? We have to go to the HR manager to do that. Now, what I mean by the HR manager, you go to the formula, This is the human resources manager. You see that? Name manager. So it's inside your formula ribbon under the defined group name, the name manager. So if you look in here, there is this name called total. So these are all my employee. If you don't want them anymore, just delete it. Just give them a letter of termination. Bye-bye. Kind of thing. All right. So letter of termination. So if you feel that, hey, I want to give this person another name, you don't want to call it total, you can go to this edit and you give them another name. Okay. So I'm going to click on this total now. Okay. I want you to pay attention, total. And if you look down here, basically we are still giving them money, but as a payroll. In our system, this is the payroll. But just now, the dollar symbol is exposed to everybody, right? Now we don't expose the dollar symbol, but we will show instead of the name. So in reality, this is how it works. The name is actually used to represent that particular cell so that we human can remember that reference easily. Do you guys understand what I mean? All right. Now, let me tell you the good news here. Let me tell you the good news. If I am not in this worksheet, I have a new worksheet. So I click a new sheet here. Okay, I put it right at the end. New sheet here. And I go to this empty cell. So my boss asked me, hey, can you tell me what is the total sales? What is the total sales? So the total sales is actually the 242,000, right? So you just have to come here and say equals to total. Equals to total. When you press enter, you have 242,000. Do you notice I don't have to remember the actual location of the file now? I just use equal to total. So the formula that I'm writing is so much human now. It's very human already. It's very English, it's very human. It's no more technical term. I don't have to write here equals to the name range G15. Yeah, I don't have to write the formula like this anymore. See, it's the same answer. It's the same answer, but different way of reading it. The second formula that you see here is not human. It's computer language. But this one is human language. Oh, this is equal to total. How I name the cell? That's very easy. You just click the cell, go to the name manager. Name manager. Sorry, rewind. You go to you click the cell. You go to this place called name box. Remember, I mentioned this thing here. This is called the name box. Click inside the name box. Just type the name. Right? You can call it Nabil. Enter. So now G15 is called Nabil from now on. There's no specific of what you want, what name you want to give. It can be any name that can represent the G15. Okay. However, okay, everyone, please pay attention to my screen. We are talking about names, right? Names. So there are certain rules to the name. Right? No, cannot. Cannot have. Sorry, let me just put a small letter here. Symbols. Right? Symbols are like the pet, cash, all this cannot. No symbols are allowed. Okay? No symbol. Except what? Underscore. Except underscore. No symbols are allowed. I know we are in the era of technology where we use a lot of Instagram, TikTok, and so on. We always use hashtag Nabil. Now we can't have hashtag. No, we can't do that. So yes, we cannot have symbols. Okay. All names are unique. That means you cannot have the same name repeated. If I call the cell Nabil, I cannot call another cell Nabil. All names are unique. right? So, so to speak, you cannot replace any existing name, right? You cannot say, let's make the cell F17 A1. Can you name F17 A1? Now, you can't change it to A1 because A1 is a name by itself. So you cannot change something, the name, to any existing name. Okay. Now, number three, you cannot start name with number. You cannot start a name with number. Example, you cannot put there 2017 total. You cannot do that. This is not allowed. Okay. But you can put there total 2017, or you can use underscore 2017 total. As long as the first character is not a number, then you are okay. Okay. The first one cannot start with a number, but you can actually start with a text. Now, you are not allowed to have any space. Say this one come with a space. So sorry about it. It shouldn't have any space. Yeah. On top here, I should put also something says space. Right? Space is also not allowed. So you want to put here quarter one QRT1 space total. No, you cannot have that. If you want to put quarter one total, you have to put there quarter one. Immediately you put there total, or you can put there underscore total. You cannot use the quarter one space total. No space are allowed. Okay, these are the restriction about the name. The restriction about the name. So let me put it red color. Are we okay so far? Now let me go on a little bit more. Now, if so far what I'm trying to tell you is you only have one cell, one name, right? Now it doesn't have to be one cell, one name. It can be a range of cell, one name. So if I were to call this cell, this E3 to E13, I would call it online. Then I will call this direct. I will call this retail. I can also call this 3 cell here PSD 500 ml. So it regards to whether it's horizontal or vertical, you can name them. You can even call this numbers. So 3 column and 11 row. This area is called numbers. You can do that. So let me prove to you. So I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to call this one online. Okay, so let me go back to this worksheet. My boss now asks me, can you tell me what is the total sales for online? So all I need to do is just total. Total, I will use sum. Then I put that online. I don't even need to remember which worksheet or what range. I just put that equal to sum total. So it's 123,658.64. Let's check. 123,658.64. Now, if I write the formula down here, okay, let's say here in this cell here, I put that equals to sum, and I put that online. You notice they highlighted the range online for me. So that's why you get 123,658.64. So the formula actually relate to the online. From now on, when you write your formula, it doesn't have to be so technical anymore. It can be very English, very human. Got it? Same goes if you name them horizontally. You can say, okay, what is the total sales for PSD 200 ml? So then sum PSD 200 ml. That's it. All right. So once you understand the concept, you can apply it in many places. So if I put this 3 column times 11, I have 33 cell. I call this one numbers. I just give a name lah. I call it numbers. I call this numbers. If I come here, I can actually here says equals to sum of numbers. Oh, numbers. Oh, what did I type? Equal to sum numbers. So when I press enter, I'll get this 222. Right. So let me just put this on the side here. So this one is the total. Okay, so I want to know what is the highest number. What is the highest number? So here I will just put equal to max numbers. So the highest number is 19710. Let's see whether the highest is 710 or not. So if you look through everything here, this is the highest. 19710. So when I put this, I say equal to max. Max will find the highest value for me. Then I put in numbers. And so they found 19,000. Of all the number here, they found that 19,710 is the highest number. So if you have a straight numbers here, you have a lot of number, your bosses want to ask you, what is the highest number so far? The highest bidder. They don't want to know who's the bidder, the highest number bid. You can do that. Just take max. So you select all the number. That's it. That's all you have. Right? So names are very, very useful moving forward if we were to discuss any topic on formulas in our next upcoming sessions. When we talk more about formulas, you will notice that I'll be using names in most of my formula, especially when I'm using formulas such as if logic, VLOOKUP, and many more. I will be using a lot of names. Instead of using references, which is going to be very hard for us to understand this reference, where is it from? So when I give them a special name, they know where are they coming from. Okay, so we will be doing more sessions to come about formula. Then, yeah, we will talk about that. All right. Now, I still have my last 10 minutes. Then I have these 5 worksheets that I'm going to work with. I have Donna, Rebecca, Smith, Vanessa, followed by general report. Basically, they're just one topic. Now, listen, the next last topic that I'm going to talk to you about has nothing to do with names anymore. I'm showing you another very useful reference that can be used. So far, we have already discussed relative, absolute, and mixed. I didn't give you an example of mixed. I've just explained to you. Maybe in our next session, if we have an opportunity to meet again, I will talk to you about that. Now, this last topic that I'm going to talk to you about, I want you to observe all the worksheet first. How I designed this 5 worksheet is, I designed for Donna. So I type product 1 to product 11. I put product name, item, quantity, product sales, and I put all this information. I designed this. And yeah, this is what I do. So after I have done this, I've just come down here. Right, so yeah, I just come down here. Then I copy, paste, 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 paste. So these 5 worksheets that I'm having now, they look exactly identical. I'm talking about the structure. I'm not talking about the value. I'm talking about the structure. Because each and every one of them, Donna, Rebecca, Smith, and Vanessa, they are selling different quantity. That's why you see the numbers are different. However, the last worksheet does not have a quantity. Because the last worksheet here comes with the consolidation. I want to know this team A comprises of Donna, Rebecca, Smith, and Vanessa. What is their total quantity sold for product 1? I want to know what is the total. So a lot of us will write a formula like this. We go to this part here, we say, you're welcome, Ajay. Welcome. All right. Now, let's take a look. A lot of us will write this kind of formula because I see a lot of movement in the chat. So I just stop for a while to look at it. I will scroll back and have a look later. Now let's take a look at this. Equals to, and now many of us will do equals to, we'll go to Donna, we click this C5. Then we say plus Rebecca C5 plus Smith C5 plus Vanessa C5. So when I press enter, let me put the formula text up here. This one. Okay, this is the formula. Let's read the red color one. This is the formula. So if you read this formula, it says that Donna, the cell C5, you add it with Rebecca, the cell C5, Smith, the cell C5, Vanessa, the cell C5, and the total comes up to 2,366. This is a very common formula that we normally write. Now, this formula is awesomely good. If you know how to do this, you're on the right track. Now, because the way I design the worksheet is different, is the same, which means I only work on Donna, then I duplicate the worksheet. When I duplicate the worksheet, my design or structure of my report is identical, so they are very consistent. So you notice that it's actually going to add up all the sum of C5, 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 and C5. Okay? In English, I can say that I want to add up all the C5 from Donna until Vanessa. Make sense? Right? We want to add up all the C5 from Donna until Vanessa. So this is how I can write my 3D reference. So I'm going to introduce something called 3D reference. 3D reference. So let me make it some blue color. So the topic that we are going to talk about is called a 3D reference. So now the formula sounds like this, everyone. Take a look. I'm going to put there equals to sum. Okay, wait, let me change the formatting first. Equals to sum. So I'm going to start from Donna C5. Just like how I started just now, equal to Donna C5. But this time, if you look at the bottom, all the worksheets are positioned next to each other, right? So I need to add Donna, Rebecca, Smith until Vanessa. So I will hold on to my shift key and I click on Vanessa. So if you look at my formula, sorry. Okay, let me do that again. Donna C5, Donna C5. I hold down my shift and I click Vanessa. So if you study my formula now, okay, if you study my formula now, it says I'm actually going to add up all my C5 from Donna until Vanessa. Right? So Donna to Vanessa, C5. So that's the answer. Same answer, right? So this type of reference are called 3D reference. Now, I won't call this a shortcut though. Really, I won't call this a shortcut. You can only use this. Okay, why are they the same? Oh, I think I know why. Let me excuse myself. I think I made a blunder. I'm doing it on both the worksheets, so they are the same. So let's just I cannot undo this. So let me just close this file. File save as. Let's put an A at the back. Sorry, I made a blunder. Because I go back to Donna. Okay, Donna, all the way here, right? So the formula should be equals to sum of Donna C5 all the way to Vanessa. Right, so that's the formula. So when I copy it down, you have different number. Okay, so let me just put equals to formula text. Formula text of this stuff. Okay, this is what we call the 3D reference. So the 3D reference basically means you are actually going to range the worksheet rather than a cell. So normal reference that you use is one worksheet, multiple cell. But now it's multiple worksheet, one cell. So that is just the first level of using 3D reference. Multiple worksheets, one cell. So this formula, like I said just now, I won't consider this as a shortcut. This can be done, this function can be used only you design all the worksheet down here consistently. That means they are coming from the same reference, their arrangement is the same, then you can use it. However, if all these worksheet that you are working on, the design is different, the location of each product is different, right? Some are in column C, some are in column F, some are in different row, number 10, they are all different. Then the first formula that I've written is the best formula. You have to match one by one in order to add up the value. But since I designed them in a way that is very consistent, very structured, then I can use this method to write my formula so that I don't have to work so hard. Remember, my objective I want to show you is, what is it? Simplify your daily workflow. Don't work so hard to get your work completed. To get your work completed. Okay, where is it now? Over here. All right. Now you can only use with the condition that the worksheets are all very, very, what do you call this? Consistent. Right. So I hope you like this 3D reference. Play around with it. If you have any question, you can catch me, right? So what did I just talk to you about is very, very basic information on Microsoft Excel 101. So this is my contact detail. You can WhatsApp to me. Try not to call me. WhatsApp to me will do because I normally won't answer phone call during my class. So the phone will keep on ringing, but I won't answer. And your number is not registered, so I won't reply. Just give me a WhatsApp. Just tell me your name, okay, and where are you from, then followed by your question. So I'll try to connect with you and try to answer your question. Is that all right? So let's be friends. It doesn't have to be a question. It can be a hi. It can be hi. I'm in Malaysia. Do we want to have a drink? Or I'm in Malaysia. So you come in. If you come to Malaysia, you visit. Just say hi, and then we can meet. Right? Why not? Okay. So that's it for me, Suraj. I give it back to you.
Thank you, Kelvin, for the session. It was really interesting. Even for me, I was listening to all the time. Those are really, really helpful tips for the Excel to make it really short. So I hope everyone here was able to get the insights and was able to walk through when Kelvin was going through it, and that would be really helpful if you went through it so that you will not remember it after if you don't just watch it. You will not remember it. Kelvin knows that actually. You need to just follow through it. So yeah, and I guess if you have time, there are a few questions.
Suraj,
Uh,
before that, I
mhm.
just want to make everybody busy for a while. I'm going to post a Mentimeter link, and I just want to see what is their thought about the training. Is it all right?
Sure, sure.
Yeah, I just posted the link. All of you can just click the link, and you shall be greeted with the. You shall be greeted with this Mentimeter. Yeah. Let's see what you guys think about the session. I don't know who write this. There are so many of you. So there's no name mentioned. Just what you feel. What is it that you like about the sharing session? Let's go through this. Wow. Look at that. It's coming so fast.
There are almost 500 people here, so
So we have a 50% audience.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Now,
Informative.
now we are not able to read it anymore. Okay. Just
Because getting smaller. It moved too fast. It cannot even read now. You have to you have to wait till it stops.
okay. So these are a few questions that I noted
Okay,
in this
go
session.
ahead.
Just I just dropped it in the chat box. The questions are separated by a new line.
Yeah. So the question,
So
if we
thank you
don't have
all.
the actual code, it won't be easy to see the formatting in detail. Yes, you're right. It won't be. Yeah. You can ask if there's any way to filter row/column by color. Yes, of course. There's a feature that you can in the filter. When you scroll down, you can go to custom. In the custom, you'll be able to see something called filter by color, not by cell value, but cell color. Yes, go and try it out. You go to custom filter. How can we color a specific one row? I mean, not only number, but the whole cell containing the number. All right, we can do that. This will help me to craft our next session, right, Suraj? This question.
Mhm. Sure. Sure. We can definitely think of it.
So 121 feedback and still more coming.
I have also dropped a few questions that you can answer. It's in the LinkedIn, so you can just go there and the answers are not that there, but you can. I will post it in an hour once everybody tries it out, and I will post it in chat box and I'll pin it there.
All right, we'll do that.
Mhm. So I think there is
Okay,
no more
pivot table
questions.
VLOOKUP. Yes, if we have the next session, Suraj, if we have a next session, we have
Mhm.
requests for pivot table, VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP. Yeah, we will do that. Now today, this is Excel 101, so it's basic. Yeah, we will move on to maybe 102, 103 later.
Great. I think there is a certificate. Okay. So I have shared the certificate link already in the chat box. So you should be receiving it after you fill the form. So yeah, I think there is no more questions. In that
Yeah,
case, we can wind up.
for those of you who have been asking about the certificate and attendance, please look at Suraj posting. Click that form, fill it in. Uh, if you are into the certificate, please make sure you fill it in. Then we will work on it. Give us the
It's
proper
automatic.
detail. Give us the proper detail. Are you using Power Automate to do that? Is it?
Okay, for more webinars like these, please do join the community to make sure you don't miss any. We do have a couple of other events that are coming up and a couple of trainings as well. So you can stay
So
updated in the community. I'll share the link. You can go around and check
if
it.
you know any of your friends who have registered but missed this session, you can share them the link of the video and also tell them to join us in the next session. Yeah. That's all right. Thank you, Suraj.
Okay, I think that's it.
I will answer the
You
question
might-
in the LinkedIn or in where can I answer the question, Suraj?
Uh, so if they're joining WhatsApp, or you can join the community so that they can ask it there and you can answer them. That'll be
Okay.
easier.
Yes,
So I'll
yes, will
share.
do.
You can check out whichever the community you want to join. It's actually in the chat box, Discord or WhatsApp or Facebook. I think a lot of people do join WhatsApp, but we have the most in Discord. So yeah.
All right. Thank you. So guys, thank you so much. Um, I I'm sorry if I speak too fast. because of the amount of topic that I need to cover. So I just have to keep on moving. So anyway, will have your video. You can just pause and learn after this. Right. So I hope you have a going to have a very good weekend this week and stay healthy, everyone. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Kelvin. Bye.
Oh, there are 400 old people. Huh? See if I can take a quick photo. Oh, I can't take a together one because there's only